Hi, I'm Tom from SimCaddy. I'm at the 2026 PGA Show, and I'm at the ProTee United booth with Jamal. Nice to meet you, Jamal.
Nice to meet you.
Tell us about GolfCore.
Yeah, so with GolfCore, of course, we're working on like the simulator, and a heavy focus for us has been on the course editor first, actually, because we believe that course designers are capable of like actually making the courses pixel perfect, and we want to lower the threshold for course designers as well to be able to get in there and actually make the courses as they would want to do it. But outside of that, we've also have a few other things that we're demoing here at PGA 2026. So we have the practice range, the driving range for now, which is showcased in that booth there. And then we also have a local match, which is like the closest to pin challenge. But technically, we also have, technically what we also have, so we have the closest to pin, but we also have a regular match, which isn't fully set up yet. There are still some features missing, like scoring and stuff. But the physics is in there, the ball flight, and the surfaces and everything. So that's the core part to us. So we've set up this core part, we showed this preview, and that's basically what it is right now. And we're looking forward to releasing a beta, getting that to the public, and having you guys have your hands on the gameplay itself.
Yeah, it looks fantastic. So the anticipation is that this is going to be available in a beta form, perhaps, by the end of Q1, and then a little bit more time after that, there'll be a regular version.
Yeah, so we're targeting the end of Q1, and specifically for VX users, so it will be exclusive. But they will also get it for free once it releases. And yeah, we're just hoping to get it in like the hands of course designers as well as players, gather a lot of feedback, be able to polish on that feedback, get like a solid foundation before we release it to the bigger public.
That's fantastic. Questions that I get often from customers is, I mean, they're really excited about it coming online as well. How many courses will be available?
Yeah, so right now from our LiDAR data library, essentially, we have like 30,000 plus courses.
Wow.
I must say there's like varying quality sometimes because certain elevation data is like 1 meter detail, but then others are like 3 to 4 maybe. And then sometimes there are also duplicates of like the same course from our data source. So yeah, roughly 30,000 plus, there are quite a lot. And I would say there's like a heavy focus on like US courses. But yeah, that's also why we want to focus on the course editor a little bit as well.
Sure.
Is because you can import those LiDAR data and then fine-tune them to be even more perfect. But also for the people that are not represented by the LiDAR data, those courses are still able to be created. You know.
Right. So what makes GolfCore unique and special compared to maybe other golf simulation software available in the market?
Yeah. So I would say there's different unique selling points to GolfCore. One is that we're really pushing the visual fidelity. And actually there might be other simulators that might be trying to do the same thing. But I think like visual fidelity, and I'm biased of course, but I think the visual fidelity of GolfCore is looking quite great, and we're still pushing the envelope and looking to explore to make it even better. The closest to pin, I think, is a good example of what we can do currently with our visual fidelity, but there are still some limitations. Just to be grounded, there are still some limitations with the bunkers, for example. We really want to improve that so that you have the bunker edges, and also to provide more details and options to course designers in the course editor themselves. So we're still looking to explore and dive deeper into that to push that envelope. But that is one point. And then the other one is to lower the threshold, because we have the course editor in game. We don't expect you to have like third-party software or like the engine itself. We don't expect you to be like an actual level designer, like a game level designer almost. So we're trying to lower that threshold as well to make it more available to you guys. And then finally, there's of course also the integration with the labs, with the VX. Because it's in-house, we're the same party. We're also able to eventually explore more options, like how can we even tie them better together. Like maybe there's specific data like swing videos that you also would want to have in the game. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but it might, you know, like that. Those are the options that are open now.
Sure, I understand you guys are working on an AI swing editor as well, which is really cool.
Yeah.
And with GolfCore, and you mentioned ProTee Labs, which is fantastic, and keeps getting better and better with each update. I've been a VX owner since day one, and the value gets added on to that particular product is amazing. And it now completes the ecosystem for you guys.
Exactly.
GolfCore, ProTee Labs, you have the Swing AI editor that's coming on board soon enough too. It's really exciting time to be associated with ProTee United.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, that's kind of the point. Like, with the VX as well, with Labs, you've seen that we've chosen to invest into improving that experience more and more over time. And it's kind of the same story with GolfCore as well. So I would say that's a big unique selling point as well that I might have even missed, is that we're looking to continuously iterate upon it. Right? The release will just be the beginning.
Right.
Because from that point, we'll still build, we'll listen to feedback, we'll see what we need to fix, or even better. And we could eventually even explore like different options. Like, for example, we have the old ProTee Play that we still have hanging around, but it's a bit dated.
Sure.
Right? So what if we would include that into GolfCore, build it from scratch, have like a fun way to play with your kids as well, or maybe introduce them into golf in a fun manner, right? Or partying with friends in a sense, like having them over, but you don't really want to play serious golf game. Maybe you want like a sort of party game. So there's many options that we can still explore eventually, but just taking a step back, of course, we first want to lay the foundation, want to ensure that that's solid before we think about those types of things.
Talking about this ecosystem that you're developing, you're absolutely right. There's a little bit of everything for everyone.
Yeah.
I actually installed the VX system in a commercial establishment last week. So it can be used in that setting. It can also be used in a residential setting.
Exactly.
If you're a serious golfer, you have all of the tools and features here for game improvement.
Yeah.
But in addition to that, of course, with GolfCore and the ability to use other gaming software, makes it a great entertainment ecosystem in total.
Exactly, yeah. And we, of course, have labs for that analysis, that deep diving. And actually, maybe we can explore within the game, like, okay, what is something that we can highlight that labs maybe can't in like a 3D environment? But outside of that, we think we're having like a great fit, and we can see how we can tie it all together to make it even better.
That's right.
What I'm mostly excited about is naturally we have the driving range here and the closest to pin. So maybe you could highlight those a little bit as well. Okay. But what is not highlighted on those screens, I think is also worth highlighting, is the course editor itself. So there's different ways of going about it for us within the course editor. As I mentioned, you have like a course browser, so you can load in LiDAR data. So you can use that as a starting point. And then you also have the ability to start a new course, which is just fresh, it's blank, and you're just able to start from the get-go.
For people who would like to build their own course. The LiDAR data gives them the tools, I guess, the foundation for the right contours of the landscape. Maybe you could talk a little bit about that, how that works.
Yeah, maybe I can also showcase it a little bit. So I'll just talk over it while it loads in. So here we have a course browser. Of course, there's various different courses that we can load in. I'm just going to go ahead and start the first one. So yeah, there's different things that come with like being able to create a course, of course. So first off, starting from a blank course is of course a major undertaking, right? There's a lot that you need to do. You need to have the elevation data. You need to have like all the shape data of like all the different surfaces, and then it needs to be playable. And there's things like flyover, doglegs, distances, many different things. So there's two parts. There's the initialization, and for the initialization, we hope with the LiDAR data, it can give a head start to course designers. Naturally, in some cases, the LiDAR data might not be available, but then at the very least, you can still start from scratch, and you're still able to do so. However, if you are able to load in the LiDAR data, what's the next step, or the next part, is do you have the tools to do what you want with it, right? So now it's loaded in, for example, and you can say, well, that's nice, it's loaded in, but I want to adjust it, right? So if we click a spline, for example, we see that we have these points that we can control. And it's not just for show that we have those, right? We can modify a spline, for example, of the fairway, and we see that it's adapting, that it changes the surface, and that works with physics as well. The physics will detect it as fairway, etc., etc. So these different tools, and then also here downstairs we have like an asset library. So there are already a lot of assets in there, for example. So here's a giant tree, for example. So we can drop that in, and then we also have tooling. So if you want to paint assets, for example, instead of just placing it one by one, then we also allow that. So and
this is a whole other dynamic, whole other world to me.
Yeah, exactly. So, and naturally I can imagine that golf players are like, well, the editor, what do I care about the editor? Maybe I don't want to go in the edit, which is fine. and that's not the main purpose for them. Maybe they're not the target audience, but I think it will benefit the golf players in the long run as well, because having the course designer facilitated with like the proper tools will ensure that you get the courses to like a amazing fidelity, amazing level that you can then enjoy just playing without having touched the editor, you know. So that's kind of the goal with like focusing on the editor. And there's also other stuff that is interesting to highlight, like the light of day is dynamic, so you can figure out, and it also works with latitude, longitude, so it's like real world sun position. We went in.
So this is all LiDAR maps. So when you make changes to this, it still has all of the same features that you would expect in a real, if you were there.
Yeah, so this is just the initialization you load in the LiDAR data.
Oh, I see.
But then you can fully modify it,
Gotcha.
and it will still work.
Understood.
Yeah.
Really interesting. Janelle, thank you so much for your time today. It's a pleasure.
No worries. Thank you very much.
Yeah.